Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. On this episode, we're going to be talking about how we're going to start creating the authenticated endpoint. So the first endpoint we're going to create on this chapter is the change password endpoint. So this endpoint is going to allow users to be able to change their password whenever they log into their dashboard. So if they log into their dashboard and they decide to change their password, they'll be able to use this endpoint to do that. Okay, to start with, we're going to create a service that will handle that for us. So let's go to our app directory and go to the custom, then services. Inside here, we'll be able to create another file called password services. Service.php. So let's start by creating the class. So the method, the first method we're going to create, is going to be a protected method. It's going to be change password, and it's going to accept data. Okay, to change the password, we'll be needing these two data, which is the password. The user wants to change it with then the current password. So let's update the password first. We can use this, the auth. Remember, the user is already logged in, so we can use the auth method. So let's call the update method, then pass in our data that we want to update, which is the password. Then before we save, you're going to hash the password, make just data password. So if update password, if updates password, I'm going to return. I'm going to send a response for that. Let's return a response. It's going to be a JSON response. The status of success and message of password updated successfully. Then if something happens while trying to save the password, let's also return error response, and the status is going to be failed. Message, I'm going to be an error occurred while updating password. Okay, we save this. Then we're going to create another method inside here, which we use to validate if the password the user is sending to us actually match with the current password that the user is actually using. So let's quickly do that up here. So we're going to create a private method, and we're going to call it validate current password. And this is going to check if password, we're going to use a password verified method. Then we're going to call the string that was sent to us, which is the current password. Then the user hashed password, which is already saved in the database. So this current password, we are going to accept it here as an argument. Then I want to say if does not match, let's return this response, send. Status is going to be failed. The message is going to be password did not match the current password. And I'm going to send this and exit. So before we update the password, we are going to check if a password match. Going to validate the current password. That's checking if the password will match with the current password the user is using. Okay, I think that's what we need here for updating the password. So let's next we're going to create the password controller that we are going to use. Okay, our password service is ready, so let's quickly create our controller that we're going to use to handle the request. So let's open up our terminal to do that. So we need to run php artisan make controller. I want to be API. And I'm going to save the control inside the profile folder. Then we're going to call it password controller. So let's open up the controller. Let's close this down. Okay, next we're going to also let's create a request, the form request for it. So let's run this command to artisan make request. It's going to be change password request. Okay, so let's open up the change password request and set up our validations there. So first we're going to set this to true. Then let's type in our validation rules here. So the first validation is the password, which is going to be required and not be a string. Then next is the current password, which is also going to be required and should be a string. Then here we're going to also add the confirm password. Then that's all we need here. So let's go back to our password controller. So let's create the method that we handle the request, which is going to be change user password. I'm just going to accept the change password request class. And then let's make a constructor. I'm going to be private password service. Let's try make it smaller. So here we're going to just return this service, change password. Just going to accept request, validated. It's going to be an array. And why is it saying undefined? Okay, I think we imported the wrong class here, so it should be inside our check the namespace that we use here. We didn't use any namespace here, so let's add a namespace here, which is using this namespace with this. Let's copy this and paste it here. Okay, so let's go back to the controller and try to import this again. Password. Okay. Okay, this error, I think the error might be from the password service class. Okay. Oh, I use protected here. Should use public. So I think the error is gone. And next we're going to create the route, the API route that we that the front-end guys will consume. So let's go to our route folder. So API. Then okay, let me just put it down here. We're going to create route middleware. So this we are going to put the auth. We're going to protect it using the auth middleware, which is only for authenticated user. So crop. And here is going to be, we're going to put our endpoint here, which is going to be post request. It is going to be a post request, and it's going to be change password, and it's going to be the password controller, and the method is change user password. And that also, next you're going to test the endpoint by opening up Thunder client. So we're going to create another. Close on this. We're going to create another endpoint, another request. Let me duplicate this. I'm going to rename it so change password. So there's going to be API / change password. There should be current password. And let's say we add something that didn't match the password the user is currently using. So let's send a request and see what happens. Okay, the post method is not supported for this route. Okay, we haven't started our server yet. Let's quickly start our server. I'm going to PHP as a sensor. Okay, server is now running. We close down this. So let's send the request again. As you can see, it's returning unauthenticated, so meaning the user have to log in before accessing the route. So let's quickly log in with the user. Okay, the user is now logged in. So let's copy the access token and go back to the change password and go to the auth, then the bearer token. We're going to paste it here. So let's send the request again. Okay, as you can see, it went. Okay, the password field confirmation does not match, which means it's going to request for the password confirmation field. Which is password 2. As you can see, password did not match the current password, so that's the validation. So let's set this to match the current password, and let's change the password to be 123, and let's send the request again. Okay, password field does not okay, password confirmation field does not match, and let's try again. Okay, password updated successfully. So let's try to log in again with the same password and see what happened, whether it really changed or not. Okay, let's send the request again. Invalid credentials. So let's put the current password that we just changed. Let's see what happened. Okay, so that's it, guys. This is the end of this video for this chapter. So we have successfully created an endpoint to change the password. So if you like this video and it's very informative and helpful to you, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and also share to your friends, and also turn on the notification bell icon to get notified anytime I post any video on this series. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.